Hi, my name is Jacqueline Garcia, and you're watching Jakla. I hope that's what I rename my YouTube channel to. I honestly don't know. It was Kapamilyang Hotdog before, and you know, um, I made this video to specifically talk about a guy. Hello. Okay, so back in 2023, I met this guy. And he wasn't really that nice per se. Like I didn't know him that time because he was like just this tall guy na I had like this platonic crush on because like he was like so tall. Tapos I don't know, I really liked his aura for some reason. Like he had good looks, he dressed well. He was the epitome of like a guy of my dreams. Then yeah, so from like August to December. Oh no, it was like yeah, no, December. He was just like this type of guy that I couldn't get close to. He was like just this type of person that I would have a crush on, and I would look at him from a distance. Like he was so far enough to be seen and not close enough to just grasp. But on a fateful night, on December, I forgot the date, I'm sorry. We, I mean, when I say we, it was like me, this guy, his friend, tapos my batchmate. The four of us, were at this hotel. I mean, not inside the hotel, outside of the hotel, and not like in the lobby, but like near this river. And we were just sitting down, just like telling stories about how fucked up our life was. And I don't know, for some reason, we really connect at that time. I really felt their energies, and like, for some reason, we just connected. Imagine like the four of us connecting in such a deep level that we really resonated to the point that I felt like the four of us would be this inevitable friendship that I grow old with. But the saddest thing is that I started to lose feelings for this guy. Now it's funny because like, oh my god, Jack, isn't that what you wanted in the first place? Didn't you have like this crush on this guy on August and like had this crush until December? But I didn't know at that time that I would lose my feelings on December. But you know how you like this type of person, you like this person, and you like how they were initially this type of person that you just see and look from a distance, and now they've become your friend, they've become such an integral part of your life. And you start to wonder, how did we get to this point from me admiring you and now we're friends? How did we get to this point that I was just looking at you, fantasizing, holding your hand in the rain and shit? Now I get to talk to you. I get to actually listen to you speak face to face. I got to hug you. I got to cuddle up with you in our friend's cold dormitory room. And you know, for a second you start to think that, oh, maybe this would be my my slow burn love, like that, because I never really experienced slow burn. Like my ex, we became each other's boyfriends after like 1 week, and I thought to myself that maybe this was my slow burn love, but haha, guess what? It wasn't. Because after December, it only like took 4 months for our friendship to just like break off. And It's funny because I never really thought that any person would make me miss them into such a degree. Like, I get that my grandparents 2 to 3 years ago passed away, and I really, really miss them. But you know how you've met these people who weren't really that long in your life, but they became this type of puzzle piece in your life that every time you think about it, every time that you imagine that they're they are not even one call away, you start to think that, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong so that I was in this place? And you start to think even further, and you start to go in this deep rabbit hole, thinking that maybe it wasn't me, maybe it wasn't my fault, maybe it wasn't that I've done such things that made them steer away from me. And now you start to pull back and just like look at the layers of it and start to think that maybe it was me. Because having the perfect friendship, having the perfect circle actually made you realize that your your incapability to hold such a joyful and loving relationship actually projected you hurting them in a way that you knew from a mile away that you were hurting the friendship, but for some reason you steered some shit that made them go away. You steered some shit that made them confused if they were good to you or you were good to them. It's just so funny because like people could call us bipolar, or like we could call ourselves bipolar, but we'll have just this one friend who will be like, hindi ka bipolar, moody ka lang. And now, it will make you think na parang, baka nga moody lang ako, pero kung moody lang ako, ba't ko to ginagawa? Like, why do I do the stuff that makes me question my entire being? Like, why do I stay up all night thinking that, why did I do that? For no apparent reason. And now you've mustered all of this energy to just say to yourself that, maybe I am a psychopath who actually have plans but just doesn't reveal it to myself. But in reality, you're really just ruining your life and you're just trying to console it by doing other plans that make it seem like what you did randomly had a point in the first place. Because that's how I acted when our friendship was falling apart. I stirred some shit up. I did some shit. I mean, like, it's just so funny for me because I know that our friendship didn't become this pile of heap shitness because I chose to just make it a big deal with my jacket or my hoodie. And the funniest thing is that before our friendship really started to like shift away and to crumble, there was this one time that we would supposedly hang out, and I said no because it wasn't the place of the guy who lost my hoodie. But he didn't actually lose it. It was with a friend, but you know a lot of what ifs that night. Like, what if I wasn't mad? What if I wasn't angry? What if I wasn't projecting all of my insecurities of how I love people and how I tend to lose them by acting in my own stupid way. But I'm just blabbering. Let's go back to the point. How come an integral person of your life, your crush that becomes your friend, your tropa, becomes someone so distant to the point that when you meet each other with eye contacts, or like simply walking to this long hallway of the school and just seeing each other and what's supposed to be this hello that is just warming, comforting, and welcoming becomes this stare of oblivion, like you are both strangers that never met before. Like, it's just how this movie or quote and TikTok was like, there was before you, and now there's during you, but I never expect there would be an after you. Becoming this person that really motivated me to study hard when you didn't really study hard. Becoming this healthy person when you weren't really healthy to your body. Becoming this motivated person when you never really felt motivated. Becoming this loving person when that guy was not even being loving. Made me realize that maybe the guys you like aren't supposed to be in your life. Not because that you aren't deserving or you aren't worthy of their time, but maybe they're just another lesson that you've already learned, and now society or like the universe told you that why do you want to go back or learn another lesson that you have learned? Because maybe if you really miss that person, maybe if you really love this person, you'd want to let them go. And if they come back, then they come back. You don't have to actually force it. But the moment that you try to force it, you feel like it's going great again, it's going good. But in actuality, it isn't. It's just becoming this destructive type of relationship where you just see to yourself that maybe it wasn't even worth it in the first place. Maybe love for me in the first place wasn't really existent. Maybe I was born to be alone, that type of thoughts. And I hope that if you ever feel that way, if you ever think that you're being in that type of mindset again, I want you to remember that it's not your fault that you can't get any guy. It's not your fault that you're not in a relationship right now. It's not your fault that you feel like the world is crumbling and you don't have another person to hold you and to tell you that it's gonna be alright. I want you to reaffirm yourself today. Just tell yourself, I love myself so much that it would hurt to be in love with another person again, and for me to just be ruined by their own existence and their own obliviousness and their own ignorance. Because take it from me, who has dated guys who were in like a fresh breakup or like in a new breakup. I mean, not actually date, but like to talk with them and like to have this flirty 1-2 conversations with them. It made me think that I've spent my whole day, I spent the last 1/4 of a day with them, talking about how I want them and I need them, but in reality, it's just like, are you really dating to be loved? Or are you dating to be liked? Because it's funny, because it's two synonymous synonyms. I don't know. To be loved is to be deeply in affection with someone. But to be liked, it's just a form of selfishness where you just want to see another person admiring you so low, so high, that you start to think that to yourself that maybe I really deserve this love. I really deserve it. And you start to wonder, maybe you deserve other things. And you start to think that maybe you really do deserve these. So you just start to let them go slowly. And you start thinking about yourself too much, that you become this narcissistic person. And it's just so funny that you think to yourself that you could just get another person like them, but in reality, when you try, you could never even get them anymore. Because when you're a half of a person that you are, and you get a person who is just so filled and so loving that you fool yourself with it, you start to think that maybe you deserve more than who they are. Maybe you deserve more than what they could offer. And when you start to think that, you have a mindset of looking for what you were lacking. And once you do that, you start to think that maybe I wasn't even worth it to be in love with this person in the first place. So you go searching and searching and searching, and you just forgot about how this man really literally built you. Now you're leaving him. And like after he move on and think to himself that maybe it's best if you both just don't cross paths again. Maybe it would be healthy for you. And it's just so funny because, this super unselfish guy thought that in order for you to be better, he has to be gone. When in reality, if you only knew half of you, actually he knows the whole of you, but he just thought that maybe because of your actions, you just don't deserve him anymore. He just feel like he doesn't deserve you. And, it's just so funny because in your deepest regret, in your deepest goodbyes, you just want to tell him, I need you so much right now that I feel like if I find another person, they won't be as fulfilling as you fulfilled me. So are you dating to be liked? Or are you dating to be loved?